Hey there, it's Ben from Pattern Profits bringing you the weekend update and weekly watch list for the week of March 28th. Starting with IWO, our proxy for small cap growth. Nice little consolidation here, digesting this big move off of the bottom, pushing up against year-to-date anchored VWAP off of that swing high here, acting as resistance within 50-65 cloud as well. But moving sideways there, looking for that push through. If we can get out of there, maybe test here that anchored VWAP from off of the COVID low, which is above. As far as support below, 1020 cloud has now gone green. It's rising. You have anchored VWAP off of the January low, the February low, and the March low. So you do have confluence right there below if it does come in a little bit more. Or if it moves sideways a little bit more, we'll see how it reacts as 1020 cloud catches up to price. You also have this nice little window here up to that next volume shelf point of control that if we can come out of this consolidation little flag to the upside, get in that window, a lot of times this area will act like a vacuum because that's where all the volume is above. So again, we'll see how they act. IWO. Also going to take a look at FFTY, the IBD 50. This has more of an inverse head and shoulders look to it and came right through there last week. 50-65 cloud trying to get through there. 1020 cloud here. Also green. Same type thing where you have that nice little window there. And then you have anchored VWAP from off of the COVID low just above and anchored VWAP from off of the high just above there. So continuation upside there. Be aware of those couple VWAPs above. We also like to take a look at PDP, the momentum ETF. Year to date anchored VWAP sitting above there within 50-65 cloud, 1020 cloud also gone green here. So similar to the others. Let's get right into our watch list. We're going to start by taking a look at Tesla, TSLA. Let me bring volume by price over a little bit closer. And I'm basically going to go breakout before the earnings gap. We'll put it right there. And here's your earnings gap, anchored VWAP attached there, anchored VWAP attached to the high. That was the all-time high, and then the swing high here. You can kind of see that anchored VWAP off of the high and off of the earnings gap, providing support on the dips the late last week. Now you're double inside here, so just want to see how that comes out. Comes out to the upside, should give a lift to the general market, growth, tech, because Tesla is a leader. So watching the reaction here and which way does this double inside come out. I think, definitely worth keeping an eye on for the general market. Wouldn't surprise if it goes sideways a couple more days, allow 1020 cloud there to catch up to price. You do see that volume really easing up those last couple days as it consolidated inside. That's what we really like to see. So just have to see which way does it come out. Also, another big boy, Apple, AAPL. Excuse me. You'll find this double bottom pattern is very common this week. You'll see it throughout the market. That straight up from the bottom look in a lot of stocks that had a nice run. Apple up 9 consecutive days, back above volume shelf point of control. 176.65, the double bottom pivot there. This would look a lot better if it put in a little handle, went sideways, consolidated this big move. Just don't know if that's going to happen. But if it did go sideways, allow 1020 cloud, which just went green, allow that to catch up and then push through the pivot. That would be ideal, but we don't always get what we want. 182.94, the prior high and the all-time high above to be aware of if it does push through 176.65. That's Apple. Also have Costco, COST. When looking at Costco, this is one of the few that has a different look to it. We do have a couple that aren't double bottom patterns. Cup with handle pattern here. Putting in the handle, you've got a little descending trend line there within the handle. 1020 cloud has caught up to price. So just looking for that to push through. 566.75 is the standard pivot above. We'd like to see it push through there on big volume. I wouldn't be mad if it comes through that descending trend line, get an early entry opportunity through there as well. That may also offer up an earlier entry ahead of this pivot, which is going to have a lot more eyes on it. So just be aware of that little descending trend line there in Costco. We also have CYBR. This cybersecurity ETF, 5350, little cup pattern here, kind of starting to hint that it's going to put in a handle here. Volume eased up Thursday and Friday. Wouldn't mind at all seeing this go sideways a little bit again. Let 1020 cloud here catch up to price and then push through 5350, or you have this high here at 5323. If this does go sideways a little bit, may be able to put in a little descending trend line, something like this. If this goes sideways or inside day over here, may set up an early entry opportunity if it continues to go sideways. On the other hand, if it just pushes out, 5350 is a level we want to be aware of and look for increased volume. You see those big green volume candles up the right side. So definitely getting attention, this group with Crowd and Pan W and Data Dog and a few others. This really setting up nice. HACK, another option as far as getting exposure to the whole group in ETFs, but I would encourage to take a look at CYBR, CIBR. Also going to take a look at CVS. CVS Health, another one setting up with more of a cup with handle pattern. Little cup here, putting in the handle. 109.69, the standard pivot above, came through that little handle on Friday off of the 10 portion of 1020 cloud. Nice little power of 3 setup down here that gave it that run up the right side. Decent volume coming in up the right side, but want to see that volume really pick up through 109.69. Did get really quiet volume there within the handle. That's what we like to see. So now just want to see it really pick up above 109.69. Be aware of this high over here at 111 and a quarter if it does push through. Again, that's CVS. Also going to take a look at AutoZone, AZO. Here's that double bottom pivot I discussed. Double bottom shakeout, big time shakeout on the right side. Big volume. I never mind seeing that big red volume on the right side of a bottom when we have that double bottom pattern. That's always the shakeout. Then a nice climb there. And now looking at 207.873, the double bottom pivot above. This is another one that has come a long way in a short period of time. So wouldn't mind some sideways action here below the pivot. Allow 1020 cloud to catch up and then push through there on big volume. Does push through that pivot on big volume. Be aware that prior high, 2110 over here, a level that you'll want to be aware of if it pushes through that pivot. Again, that's AutoZone, AZO. We also have Ameriprise Financial, AMP, very similar looking setup, double bottom setup, nice shakeout here on volume. That's what we like to see on the double bottoms, right side shakeout. Then straight up from there, good volume on the way up. And again, wouldn't mind this consolidating a little bit. It's had a big move straight up from the bottom, but 323.97. That's the pivot to be aware of above the double bottom pivot. And then be aware of this high, 332.37, if it does push through there. Want to remind you to always keep an eye on the left side for that symmetry up the right side of these patterns. Again, that's Ameriprise Financial, AMP. Also going to take a look at Clean Harbors, CLH. And this more of a traditional cup with handle pattern. Like the way this has put in this handle here right into 1020 cloud with the volume shelf point of control right there too. And just starting to peek out of that descending trend line if you put that in through there, through the handle. 110.67 is the standard pivot above. That's the level to be aware of. And then 118.89, the prior high over here. So want to be aware of that as it pushes either through this descending trend line in the handle, something like so, as that comes through there. And then 110.67 where you want to see the big volume come in. then be aware that 118 to 89 above there would be a nice run from 110 to almost 119. Then when you get up here, you look for that handle to put in and then push out again. Again, that's Clean Harbors, CLH. One more to look at, Pfizer, PFE. Now with Pfizer, beautiful move through this descending trend line. We had quite a few pocket pivots up the right side there too. Then it came back in, really quiet volume last week as it came in, especially later in the week. You can see anchored VWAP off of the high and anchored VWAP off of the breakout there acting as resistance late last week. You have year-to-date anchored VWAP below, and you're right there in the clouds, 10, 20, 50, 65 clouds kind of confluence there, volume shelf point of control there as well. So just want to see if that can push out there. You had an inside day there on Thursday, came out to the upside, but it wasn't able to push through those two anchored VWAPs above, off the high and off of the breakout. So if that can push through there, like to see volume pick up. You got really quiet volume here as it came in. So like to see that pick up again through the upside. Just be aware, 61.71, the prior high on the left as this comes up the right. Again, looking for symmetry and a run back towards those prior highs, 61.71. Again, that's Pfizer, PFE. That's all I have into the week ahead. Hope you have a great trading week, and I'll see you again on FinTwit.